whatever the buffer is, 20 grand or 15 grand, you pay that price still if you want, if you can justify the deal and the 3 paydays are good. So Avi, I'll use your appointment as an example. You went on the appointment as I texted you, and this came up last call too. It's not just because you're here. This is good for everyone. The mortgage info and all that stuff is a prerequisite. Like, I'm coming out Friday, so here are the things I will need. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep. So they had the mortgage statement already. It was my mistake that I didn't write down all the information that I needed, but I should have asked them if I could take a picture of it, and I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then I think you left it that one of us would call to do numbers. That's what the appointment's for.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk you through this so we can set you up to win on this one. Give us the numbers, like what's hanging right now in that seller's brain so we can help you get next step.
Okay. So he's asking 679. He's got a mortgage mortgage balance is 241.
Expired or what?
This was a FISBO.
FISBO, okay.
And he has it up on the MLS, but it's like with a flat fee broker.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he's still got a sign out front that says for sale by owner.
Motivation?
He is moving. He's already sold his landscaping business. He's already got a house out in Western Pennsylvania that he's moving to.
Perfect. So whether this sells or not, he's moving?
Correct.
When?
He's still wrapping up some stuff here, but
when's he moving?
He's not. He didn't seem to be under major pressure with that. He did not give me an exact timeline. Like he just told me
so here are the questions I would have asked him. Tell me if you did. So he has a house already bought?
Correct.
Okay, and so you didn't say what's the date, like worst case, what's the date you want to be there by, or best case?
I did not ask a specific date. He was just he told me that he was when we were talking timeline. He was saying, "Well, I still got things to wrap up here, still some things to sell off from the business." So he was kind of wishy-washy.
Okay. So here's what I would have said conversationally, right? You or him.
Yeah.
I just say, all right, I get it. So just if you could wave a wand, what's your ideal date to be there?
Mm-hmm.
Go dig deeper because that's their why.
Yeah.
There will be a point in time where he's gonna be frustrated if this doesn't sell. It sounds like he's still coasting because he's okay.
Right.
Okay. So what's the mortgage payment on this underlying debt?
Okay, so I didn't get the payment. That's on me. I'm guesstimating about 2,200 all in with taxes, and everything.
So write a couple of action items down before anyone calls them. You need to call, get the payment amount and the breakdown on the payment.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep going. You talked lease purchase to him?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What's the current going rent around there? It'll be pretty high.
I have to do the research on that.
Okay, so you got to get payment, rent comps. Tell him when you call him after you get this and the breakdown of principal and everything, you're then going to go to work and see what you can find for comps, and then you're going to circle back to him with exactly how it will work. Like that's how you want you to say it to him. Like it's not negotiable. I'm going to get back to you with how it would work for you.
Okay.
Because you're protecting a lot of money. It's $438,000.
Right.
You're as a realtor, is his number of 679 pretty good?
I think so. I want to run the comps again, but for the house and what it is, yeah.
Okay. And you guys all know if this is that guy's primary, which sounds like it is.
Yes.
He's going to want to do a 36-month lease purchase, so not to expose the seller to capital gains.
Right.
Then you tell him that, whether you see if he knows that. If it's not, you say, just want to make sure you know. A lot of sellers don't. Okay, so the numbers are pretty simple here on a lease purchase. Do you have any questions on this? Because you could wrap this thing up in one phone call with him.
Okay, so he was just sitting here saying, well, he wants interest on his money.
Well, then what's going to tell you if you have any room is the rent comps.
Okay.
It's real simple. And if not, how long has this been on the market?
I don't have a date.
Okay, so find out how long it's been on too.
Yeah, I'll check that.
So time on market. Here's why I'm saying that, Avi. Don't at all dance around this with him. there's going to be a point at which he's going to want to band-aid this. So if I'm making up these numbers now, if the mortgage is 22 and your rent comes back at 24, I'm just making this up. There is no room. You just say that. That's all I get to work with. And this is not nonprofit, so I got to have a spread here.
Okay.
So those comps will tell you that. I know he ideally wants to, but he didn't sell yet.
Okay. And I mean, the way I left it was that my partner was the numbers person.
Okay,
So-
you call him and say, I talked to my partner and he gave me a spanking. No, I'm not, don't say that. I talked to my partner and I need to get more info. We can't do this yet.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
But
then
in
then you get that and we'll call them together only because you told them. But this is very simple, and especially in a lease purchase, where Rusty and I go to you, do ABC, and you call them back and go, I talked to my partners, here's the deal.
Okay.
But because you set it up, I'll just gather more, and then you and I will do that call Wednesday or Thursday. Just tell me when you get it.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Is that good, Claire?
That is good. Thank you.
Okay. And can you see how that, like, next time just bring it a little bit further? Because you could have went, well, okay, you get this much left, right? You can almost calculate it all.
Right. Okay.
Because he said he can get 5% in the CD. Can you really get that these days, by the way? I don't.
Probably actually a little bit more.
On a CD?
Yep.
Yeah. So 5%, that's $1,800 a month. He's not gonna get that. You might as well tell him up front. You might as well sell it. If that's what you have your heart set on, not protecting all your equity, you might as well go get that and pay interest on it. Go for it.
Okay.
Be honest with him, because he's not getting $1,800 a month if I did my math right.
You meant
Okay.
pay taxes on it.
What was that, Judy?
You said pay interest on it. You meant pay taxes on the
Taxes, sorry. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let's see where that goes, Abby. I got it in my head enough so that when you call me, I can jump on with you.
Okay.
Great. Now you guys, we did that fast. You guys have any questions on that? Anything at all? Language, etc. Steve?
I do, yeah. And it kind of tags off what Avi said about somebody wanting interest. If you do end up giving them interest, is it just a matter of basically all the payment you make, not all of it comes off the principal? Because that's essentially giving them interest. Is that how we do it?
Well, no, because if I'm tracking with you, good question. But if I'm tracking with you, there's an underlying mortgage that he has to pay, Avi.
Right.
Let's say it's $2,200.
Yep.
If Avi comps this out, that rent's gonna be pretty high for a 680 house. 700 if he's gonna go sell it, probably more. Nick would do that with him. But let's say the rent's 3,500 all day long, easy. Okay, then he's got 1,300 to work with. So can he maybe give up? I'm making up numbers again. $300 as a spread, and might the guy consider that a lease payment? He's gonna have to claim it as income. He's probably not gonna get away with principal payment because he just told Avi he wants interest.
Right. And so what I'm asking is, the way Avi pays interest, is it just a matter of saying, okay, don't take all my payment off the principal?
Well, no, there is no, like, he could do that, but I don't want to muddy the waters with, if I'm tracking you again, if the mortgage is 2,200 and there's a set amount coming off principal, I don't want to stop messing with that formula. That's going to be a nightmare because it increases each month, you know?
Yeah, well, I would keep it fixed just for simplicity. I mean, I wouldn't go with that. But I guess what I'm saying is, how do you actually pay someone interest? What's the mechanism for doing that? I'm not tracking with that part.
With the mechanism meaning?
Like how do we pay someone interest on a?
If he has spread, if
there's
there's
spread,
that
right.
spread, in my example, I think it was 1,300. He can decide if he wants to carve some of that out, and the guy can claim it as interest or lease income, however you guys want to set it up. It wouldn't technically be interest; it'd be a lease payment.
So Chris,
Okay.
I think what Steve's going at, so let's say 2,200 is the mortgage payment, then 300, let's just use 300. If Avi paid him 300 would be interest. So Avi would be paying 2,500. Is that what you're trying to say, Steve?
Yes. Is that
That's
how
what
it
would
would-
happen. It'd be a lease payment, some to the bank and some to him, or the guy,
Right.
because of that, might want it all to him, and then he has to pay his mortgage, in which case Avi has to get confirmation every month.
Got it. Okay.
And then don't you have to give him an interest statement at the end of the year?
Well, it'd just be a lease because he's not borrowing. The guy's going to keep the house in his name, so even easier for Avi. Avi takes it as an expense, and that guy takes it in his lease income if he wants to. Avi's not going to cut the guy, 1099. He's just paying a lease.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's not actually an interest payment. It's just money the seller keeps that kind of he puts in his pocket. So
In the
acts like
scenario we all just said, yes.
yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then I say to the seller, that's up to you in your account whether you want to claim the income.
Right.
I'm just leasing a house. I don't cut 1099 to you. That's up to you if you want to cut it.
Right.
Claim,
Yeah. Okay. That's it. Thank you.
personal checks. Yeah, no, good question. If we didn't confuse anyone, Adam?
On that payment, I was talking about another lady that had a house that she just bought 2 years ago. She paid $215 for the house. She was worried about not having enough equity in the house. Is there anything that would prohibit her from selling it other than she's going to lose her butt because she's got to pay a realtor?
Prohibit her from selling at a low price, you're saying?
No. She said she wanted to hold on to it and build more equity in the house. So either way, she's going to lose that equity if she sells through a realtor, correct? I said that. I just want to make sure I'm checking after this conversation.
If she's eating that equity up with the fee, I guess if that's what you're asking me, yeah.
Yes. Okay. I just
You could protect some equity if you're comfortable with the price. You don't always have to go, hey, I'm taking off the realtor fee and that's my price. If you like the price, all the homes Nick and I did originally, gosh, from like 13 all the way to maybe 18 or maybe at least 17, I didn't haggle with price. I was just making sure I got them their equity, and luckily the market cooperated with me and I was good with it. And they were good with it. But you got to decide if the realtor fee is, whatever the buffer is, 20 grand or 15 grand, you pay that price still if you want, if you can justify the deal, and the 3 paydays are good.
got it. Thanks.
And then you protect what you would have gave the agent, and it goes back to her in 3 years or whenever.
Yeah.
Right? Technically. Guys don't have to agree with me if you don't get what I'm saying, because I don't know what I'm saying sometimes. It just comes out.
I understand.
Okay, good deal.